Listen to me. Control how you respond to what's sent to destroy your peace. And I want to tell you something that the enemy hopes you never discover. Like, he doesn't always need to destroy you. Like, he just needs to distract you. Because if he can control your reaction, he doesn't have to control your future. Like, some of you think the battle is over your money. Others think it's over your marriage or your business, right? Over your influence. But what if I told you the greatest battle isn't over what you have? It's over how you respond. Because your reaction reveals your rank. See, anybody can lose their temper. Anybody can clap back, right? Anybody can return disrespect when disrespected. Anybody can answer pride with pride. But it takes spiritual maturity to look at something designed to provoke you and refuse to give it permission to move on. See, the enemy doesn't always send attacks to defeat you. Sometimes he sends bait. And the purpose of bait isn't to kill you immediately, it's to get you to bite. Think about a fisherman real quick. Like, the fish isn't caught because it's weak. It's caught because it reacted. That's why some of the greatest victories in your life won't come from what you say. They'll come from what you refuse to respond. See, some people don't deserve explanation. Some conversations don't deserve your energy. Your energy. Some text messages don't deserve a reply. Some comments don't deserve your attention, because every distraction has one assignment, and it's to pull you away from destination. See, have you ever noticed, and I'm thinking about this right now, have you ever noticed that the enemy always seems to send unnecessary drama when you're on the edge of something significant? Think about it. Right before promotion, here comes offense. Right before a breakthrough, here comes a misunderstanding. Right before the blessing, here comes unnecessary conflict. Because he knows something. The enemy knows this, that many believers forget that if he can't stop your destiny, he'll try to slow your focus. See, the enemy isn't intimidated by your emotions. He's intimidated by your discipline. And that's why the Lord is trying to get a lot of people disciplined in themselves. That's why even in the book of Proverbs, it tells us that a person who rules their spirit is greater than one who conquers a city. Think about that. Like, God says self-control is a greater victory than public success. Because it's one thing to conquer people. It's another thing to conquer yourself. See, the strongest person in the world or in a room isn't the loudest. It's often the one that knows how to discipline themselves, the one who has the power to react, but chooses wisdom instead. I'm learning this in my life. See, Jesus demonstrated this over time and time again. People lied on him. He stayed focused. People mocked him. He stayed focused. People betrayed him. He stayed focused. People even falsely accused him. He stayed focused. Why? Like, because he understood something. Like, even when you think about it, even while hanging on the cross, he had enough peace to pray, Father, forgive them. Can you imagine it? The very people driving the nails, and he's praying for them. Why in the world would he do that? It's because Jesus understood something we often forget. You never allow people to control your spirit. If they can control your emotions, they've already stolen your peace. And peace is too expensive to give away cheaply. So stop handing your peace to people who haven't earned access to your heart. Because not everybody deserves the ability to change your mood. Remember this. Some people wake up looking for someone to argue with. Don't volunteer. Some people thrive on chaos. Don't become their next meal. Some people feed off your reaction. Starve them. The enemy celebrates every unnecessary reaction. That's why you got to guard your mouth. Because every emotional outburst costs you something. Think about it. It can cost you clarity. It costs you discernment. It costs you focus. It costs you energy. It costs you relationships. And sometimes it's even cost opportunities. Like, how many blessings have people delayed because they couldn't control one conversation? How many promotions have been postponed because someone couldn't control one emotional moment? How many marriages have been damaged over words that should have never been spoken? One reaction, I'm telling you, one reaction can create consequences that last for years. And that's why wisdom teaches us to pause before we respond. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to defend yourself against every accusation. You don't have to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Because silence is not weakness. You got to remember this. Silence is strategy sometimes. The loudest person in the room ain't always the strongest person. Sometimes the strongest person is the one who knows they're secure enough to not to prove anything. Notice what Jesus did in Mark chapter 4. Like the disciples panicked, the wind was loud, the waves were violent, fear filled the boat, but Jesus didn't become what surrounded him. He spoke to it. He looked at the storm and said, "Peace, be still." He didn't even match the storm's volume. He introduced another atmosphere. See, that's real authority. Authority isn't shouting louder than the storm. Authority is remaining anchored while the storm is trying to move everyone else. Can people still recognize Christ in you when life becomes uncomfortable? That's the question. Or does pressure make you sound like everybody else? Anybody can have peace when peace is in our life, right? When life is peaceful. But kingdom maturity is revealed when your surroundings become chaotic and your spirit remains settled. That's for somebody. Because peace isn't the absence of problems. Peace is the presence of God in the middle of them. Some of you have been asking God to remove every difficult person from your life. And I believe that God is saying, I'm using them to reveal where your maturity still needs work. Because not every difficult person is punishment. Sometimes there's training. You got to recognize the Bible says iron sharpens iron. Pressure reveals character. Understand this. Like conflict exposes what still needs healing. And if one comment can ruin your entire day, God isn't exposing your weakness to embarrass you. He's exposing it so he can strengthen it. Because your peace is a weapon. Never underestimate it. Because the enemy knows that a peaceful believer is dangerous. Because a peaceful believer hears clearly. A peaceful believer discerns accurately. A peaceful believer doesn't make emotional decisions. A peaceful believer cannot be manipulated easy. And that's why the enemy constantly tries to provoke you. If he can provoke you, he can distract you. If he can distract you, he can delay you. But if you guard your peace, you guard your purpose. I've learned something. That some victories don't look like applause. Some victories look like restraint, walking away, not responding, choosing forgiveness, refusing revenge, praying instead of arguing, blessing instead of cursing, sleeping peaceful while others expect you to lose your mind. That's strength. That's authority. That's kingdom. And you got to remember this, that your reaction is often the only part of the battle you actually control. You can't control what people say. You can't control how people think. You can't control what people do. You can't even control the lies. But you can always control what you do next. And that decision actually determines whether the enemy gains ground or loses another battle. So the next time offense knocks at your door, don't answer emotionally. The next time disrespect shows up, don't surrender your peace. The next time someone tries to bait you into becoming someone God already delivered you from, smile, pray, stay focused, keep serving. Hear me. Keep trusting, keep building, because the greatest flex isn't proving you can fight. The greatest flex is actually proving that what God has done inside of you is stronger than what's happening around you. Control your response. This word is for you. And you will protect your peace. Protect your peace. And you will, I'm telling you, because the enemy doesn't always want your house. He doesn't always want your money. He doesn't always want your position. Sometimes he just wants your reaction. And I'm going to tell you this. Don't give him what he came for.